Greetings, Minecrafters, and welcome to another Minecraft discussion today. My name is Kimberly Quinn, and I am thrilled to have a conversation about taking care of you. Now, okay, right out of the gate, we have the obvious: eat right and exercise. Those are super, super, super important. And in addition to the obvious, right, in addition to the obvious, and also have fun and get out in nature. I mean, this is a lot of boxes to check there. But on the inside, okay, eat right, exercise, nature, fun, okay? And then on the inside is to realize, one is to realize we don't need to go through life all tense and full of being fear-based. Those are all thoughts that often dominate and take over and rob us of our life minutes. So that is just so key. The thing is, we have to kind of remember, rewire the brain. The subconscious drives the bus. We talked about it. We can actually, whatever's going on out here is still going to go on out here. So we can either be tense and fear-based, or we can actually go in with whatever it is, even if it's horrible, and be relaxed. Actually be relaxed and get a plan. And it is that simple. It's not that easy, right? Because we're used to, and I think it's somewhat natural to a point, to just dig in, like just dig in with the fear and the anxiety. We really don't have to do that. And what that takes is awareness first, of course, and then it takes a retrain, like brain boot camp, okay? Go in with whatever it is, relaxed, and get a plan, because all of the getting worried, all of the getting afraid, all of the feeling badly for someone else isn't going to fix their problem either. It's just the truth. So we can exercise some mind control and stay relaxed. It's better. It's a way to take care of ourselves. So, and another way, number two, is to sit in silence. And in this fast-paced world, is really tough. Even 1 minute. If you can squeeze 3 out of that, think about it. You could sit that long on the potty, okay? And that works too. You know, silence is silence, because the only way we can really get a grip on our lives, which is ourselves, right, is to have some quiet time. We've got to. You know, we've just got to. And acceptance in realizing that all these thoughts that are flying around are just thoughts. We are what we think in that way. We talked about that as far as what we allow in. As far as like this hornet's nest, trust me, I know, of thoughts. We are not our thoughts. And John Kabat-Zinn says to think of them like bubbles, like pop, 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 they'll pop on their own. But until we sit in silence, it's not going to work that way. He also talks about ocean waves and riding the waves, because the brain is not going to stop thinking. I couldn't put a stop sign up here right now and say, don't read that. Doesn't work, because the brain is on all the time. So the best way to deal with our very busy, wandering minds is to realize that it isn't going to stop. Acceptance is the key to most problems, right? My brain is going to keep thinking, and there's going to be thought bubbles all over the place. So what I can do is realize that and let them just go on their way. That's right. So we say, like, if there goes an anxious thought, well, okay, welcome to being human. There goes a fearful thought. Okay, apparently I'm a little afraid today. Welcome again to being human. A shame thought, an abandonment thought, whatever, and just let them roll. And then the trick, we talked about the whole attachment thing. The trick is to not attach importance to the thought bubbles. That's what sort of brings about the pain. When they're empty, like little kids blow bubbles, they're just floating around. They can't really harm anything unless we attach meaning to them. There goes a fear bubble, and then, I don't have enough money to pay this, or my partner, and it's that attachment to the thought bubble that causes us the pain. It's just how it is. Okay, and then the third one is focus on your inner voice. Notice the thread. These all go together, because until I say sit in silence. Sit is in quotes, because sitting's overrated. I don't sit a lot myself. Do I spend time in silence? Yes. Am I out in nature? Heck yeah. Heck yeah. I try to walk little G at least 4 times in the woods a week early. And then if I get a good stretch, I'll go 7 days if the weather's good, and if I can, scheduling wise, but at least 4. And in the summer, I go out and hang with the goats, as you know, if you've seen the videos I do in the summer, just right out the back door, which is easy. So realize Okay, focus on your own inner voice and realize that you've got a lot of wisdom in there. There's a lot of wisdom in there, and it doesn't always feel like we do, but it's absolutely there. And everything we have is already within us, kind of very Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz, right? It was she had it the whole time through that whole journey. Kind of, we're not different. We have the wisdom is all right there. Everything you need is already inside of you. And so, the thing is, especially in the States, and I love my country, we do kind of fly around like gerbils on crack, myself included. I've got a high vibe going and I'm flying. And that's kind of I have one speed, as people who know me say. However, it's the out here busyness that really is a problem too. So it can be difficult flying around in our fast-paced society to stop, but we really have to put the brakes on. You have to put the brakes on and do whatever you need to do that, you know. You can say you've got a meeting, and you do, because you might have a meeting with God and it's in the restroom for 3 minutes because you just had to get out of Dodge from that meeting that was giving you agita for some reason. And then you go into the bathroom and you have a chat with the universe. And then, because I'm not a fan of lying, I don't do that. I try very hard not to do that. So keep it honest, and then you have a meeting with God. No, you don't have to tell someone that. You just say you have a meeting. Then you disappear for 3 or 5 minutes, have a chat with yourself and the universe, and you come back in and it's all good, and you get like a grown-up timeout. Excellent. And, you know, Oprah says, you know, my dear friend Oprah, she doesn't know her dear friends, but I'm going to meet her someday. She talks about listening to these whispers too, because they are what's guiding us. It's kind of like when we talk to the universe or God, however you want to say, those whispers, the inner voice that we're coming back, that's God or the universe or higher power talking back to us. So we talked about that. We've got to really need to listen to those inner voices because they direct us along, you know, sort of the path we're meant to be on, and then to our purpose. And as long as you stay with your purpose, you're golden. You're golden. That's when you are in the flow zone. You're at your highest vibe, and you're full of passion and fulfillment. And that's how you know that you're on your purpose, by how you feel. And how you get there is by listening to the inner voice. And then I have praise yourself. I'm a big fan of this. And then I say, Oprah again sometimes talks about keeping yourself filled up. And she says sometimes people will say, oh, she's so full of herself. She's full. And she's like, yeah, I am. Yes. And you know what? Filling yourself up involves a lot of things, like the simple pleasures in life, treating yourself, pampering yourself, time in nature, all the things we were saying before. But it also has to do with praising yourself. I do it out loud. My husband's so used to me. I'm like, go, Kimmy, you crushed that. You know, with whatever it was. It might have been like I actually had a plant that survived longer than 2 months. That's a box to check, you know what I mean? And then there's other bigger things like presentations and things like that. And then there's just maybe dealing really well emotionally with a toxic individual in your life. That is like big praise. They're like, you managed it with grace and dignity, and you took care of you, and you put a big old boundary up, and that's like some of the biggest kudos that you should be getting out there, managing that big life stuff. And then not that accomplishments aren't important, they are, but you know, the real challenges are often when people get in your rib cage and you know, you got that and you handle that so well. Give yourself some praise. Give yourself praise for overcoming, you know, if you had a shameful moment, you sought out higher ground because that's been hard for you. Woohoo! That's excellent. That's a big old deposit in the self-esteem bank. Praise yourself all day long. You can start out silently if that works for you. Out in the car is great. I'm constantly praising myself in the Jeep and everything else. And then that is very related to accepting the good in your life, because it's difficult to kind of accept compliments from other people too. Their praise, external praise. Again, we're not looking for approval, but when it lands with us, savor it. So, and I think I told you, I literally stop when it's in person, and I'm 100% in on whatever they're saying, because they took the time, their very valuable life minutes, to think up nice thoughts, to turn into nice words, to say to me. I'm going to be as fully present as possible. And then, because as you know, I had a lot of shame in my early years growing up, to combat that, and let it in. Let their kindness in. Feel the good words. That, wow, I love how you did this. I love how you said that. Thank you for doing that video. And then just breathe it in. Take it in. Allow the good in. Because the only way more good is coming in is if the neurons know what to do. Like, instead of pushing it out, we don't understand that. We're used to being it's had negative things, say it's shameful messages. Oh, I don't know what that is. We don't want that. We want, oh, here it comes. That used to be my story with shame, and now it isn't. Here comes some more good. I recognize that. And then thank you. The universe loves gratitude. Big thank yous. The more we're grateful for what lands on our lap, the more will land in your lap. And then lastly is love yourself. So this involves finding ways to support yourself with the people you hang around with, for sure, the circumstances you're in. You got to look at that. And then all simple pleasures, buying yourself flowers and carving out time just for you, even if it's 15 minutes a day. And mainly the company you keep, and how we can filter out those who don't bring us joy. I'm not saying they're toxic or bad. If they're more like an obligation, I'm not saying cut the rope entirely, but less time with them, because you only have so many life minutes. Spend time with the people who bring you joy, and then you also will return joy back to them, because that's how it works. Okay? And then just love yourself. Do the mirror work. Do the mirror work, saying, I love you. Kimmy, you're beautiful. Say you're intelligent. You're bold, badass, and brilliant. Okay? That is it. Mirror work also. So that is how to take care of you by realizing you don't have to go through life being all tense and full of fear, sitting in silence, which means to be present, focusing on your own inner voice, praising yourself, finding ways to support and love yourself, and then the mirror work. Tell yourself that you love you every day. Take care of you. This is Kimberly Quinn signing off from Northern Vermont. Have a mindful day.